Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 7th. You have this card, it says write a letter. It says write a letter to your inner child. You have this go on an adventure card. It says today is the day to try something daring. And I don't know, all your readings basically say it's time for you to try something daring or to go on some sort of adventure. And we are in an adventurous time. So, as I always say, this is a repeating message, and it will be for a long time. This will be something that comes up quite frequently over the next several years because the universe wants us to experience variety. Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius is all about innovation. If all you experience is a tiny little square in your whole entire life, then you're not going to be able to innovate because you're going to have no experiences to draw upon to innovate in your life, right? The more experiences we give ourselves, the more we learn, the more we experience with the things that we enjoy doing, that we want to do, that we hope to do one day. That gives us something to draw upon, right? And that is where we get our best ideas, our most innovative ideas. So that's what I would be focusing on, is like trying new things here, Aquarius, and I think that will be very beneficial. Damn, Aquarius, this is a very good reading. I will say, I think there's like a lot of good stuff coming up here. You have the Lovers, the King of Wands, and the Three of Swords. Yeah, if you want love, definitely could be love coming in for you. I would say this is like you attracting a very passionate connection. Just looking at all the cards here, King of Wands, Queen of Wands, divine counterparts, and usually they are very passionate towards each other. Definitely could be a fire sign. I mean, you get fire with me all the time. Could be any sign, general reading. It could just be a very fiery person. A very spicy person, right? It seems like people are attracting spicy people right now. So, and that could be spicy in every single sense of the word. It could be like spicy personality. It could be a confident person, a bold person, whatever. Spicy in other ways as well. But definitely could be a love connection. I also feel like you're making a new choice all of a sudden. I don't know. I get a very sudden feeling. I'm pretty sure I said this to you in your last reading as well, if I'm not mistaken, that it seems like you're making a decision very quickly, just to like go in a new direction. I don't know. It feels good, whatever it is. Like if you're deciding, like, I'm not saying, like, let's say this is work, for example. I don't think you're going to like wake up on the 7th and quit your job and then look for another one. I just think you're making the decision. You're just saying, I'm done with this. I'm going to something else, right? And I'm not even saying it's just work. Like, that's just the example I'm giving you. It just seems to me like you're like waking up this week, one day, literally, and you could just be saying, I'm done with this thing. I'm going to start looking for something new, right? That's like one type of decision you could be making. And again, it doesn't have to be bad, as in you're like cutting something out, like breaking up with a person. It could be like maybe you're sick of where you're living, and maybe you're finally making the decision. And you're saying, no, like I am moving. And so it's like, I feel like you are kind of making that choice on something in your life, which is probably good. And again, we have this very bold assertive energy. The King and Queen of Wands are very good for making decisions. They're very good decision makers as well. So, I feel for a lot of you that you are kind of like making decisions more boldly, more confidently. Obviously could be a divine counterpart for those of you that want love coming in for you here. Again, doesn't have to be, take how it resonates, but definitely could be a strong connection. But I do feel, like I said, that you are being more bold, confident, assertive, kind of really going for what you want here, and obviously that would be good. You have the Three of Swords. Three of Swords can represent like a separation or a breakup, but again, I kind of feel this is you deciding, like I said. The reading is very positive, and it's even very positive for love. So, to me, I am a holistic reader. I take everything into account in the entire reading. And the reading is very positive. There is no other breakup stuff here yet. So really, I would say that you're probably healing from a past breakup, which could be, or maybe it's just saying that you have finally healed from a past breakup, and that could be the thing that is attracting new love into your life at this time. So, again, I would say if you want love, obviously, it would be a good week for it. You have the Two of Cups like everybody else. Everybody that gets love readings gets the Two of Cups. This has been happening since like 2022 or 2023, I can't remember. And so, it just seems like it's a time where we're attracting someone who's different than our usual type, which is probably a good thing, right? Because usually we have a type for a reason, and usually that type isn't necessarily a good thing, right? With the Lovers, yes, you have the Three of Swords. Again, I think you're healing from something and finding something new. It is a great time for healing. We have a lot of just good stuff. I mean, Chiron and Aries, we have the South Node in Virgo, for example, is also really good for healing, or taking time to heal. We also have Mercury retrograde coming up on the 17th of July. And you might be saying, well, it's not the 17th. Well, it doesn't matter. We are going to be in the shadow very shortly, if not already by the time you're watching this. Depends on when you're watching it. But what I would say is that, Mercury retrogrades are great for, just letting things go, burying the hatchet. You have that card. It says write a letter. Mercury retrogrades are great for writing letters to people. You don't, I'm not saying you send it to the person. I'm saying they're great for writing a letter, getting it all out, and then burning it, right? So, I think all that stuff would be great for you here, Aquarius. Can't make this up. With the King of Wands, you have the Lovers again. So definitely a very strong connection coming in for you if you want love. Something brand new is what I would say. It's going to take a little bit of a risk here with the Fool. The Fool can sometimes say that you have to take a little bit of a risk. Didn't I say this to you recently? I'm pretty sure I did, because I'm pretty sure I called you out for not flirting or something like that. I don't know. All my days are blurring together right now, but what I would say is, again, I think a little bit of a risk, like flirting with a person, talking to a person. Yeah, with the Seven of Wands, you have the Nine of Wands. Exactly what I said. Nine of Wands is not giving up. Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior, but he is trying something one last time. So I kind of feel that some of you could be giving love one last chance. If you don't want love, I feel like this is something that you will love. And even if you do want love, I feel that this could be something that you will love. Like a work opportunity, a business opportunity that you've tried before in the past. Because, again, you have very good money cards here as well. Knight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. Very positive stuff here, Aquarius. So this definitely looks good to me. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Birds of a Feather card and this Wish Upon a Star card. Yes, if you're attracting love, it's like two peas in a pod here. For you, Aquarius. You could be attracting someone who's very like-minded. It's like, I'm not saying you're the same. Actually, Two of Cups are very different, but they do communicate on the same level, which we'll talk about in a minute. So again, you could be attracting someone who's different, but also very similar at the same time. It's like, they could be different. They could have a different personality, but it's like maybe you have the same beliefs, or they could come from a different country, for example, but maybe you're very similar. So in some ways. So again, the Two of Cups is just some sort of difference. It doesn't say you're completely different. The Birds of a Feather card, I do think it's an amazing time for fixed signs to look at who they surround themselves with, right? So this is true for all fixed sign energies, that, the people you surround yourself with, like the old business cliche is you are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But I think it's very true for fixed signs right now that you need to be very careful of who you are surrounding yourself with. The Wish Upon a Star card, I would make a wish. You do have the Star card, which is your card showing up in the next row. But I also feel like sometimes I do literally feel that readings can say the universe is waiting for you to ask for something. It's like sometimes I think we have to claim something, or we have to say, this is mine. And we have to grab onto it, make it happen. So, I kind of get that energy off of that card. You have the Knight of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Two of Cups again in the area of what's coming in for you. The Knight of Pentacles is straightforward progress. There is clearly quick growth. I feel like something might start slow, but is going to grow much more quickly than you realize. You go from the Knight of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles. But again, I'm not trying to be dramatic here. If you don't do anything, nothing is going to happen. But, this looks to me like something that is probably, if you get started and you stick with something, it will probably grow quickly over time. I'm not saying overnight. I'm not saying tomorrow. I feel like I shouldn't have to clarify this stuff, but, people think we live in La La Land or something. So whatever. We don't, just so you know. Yes, things require effort. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, you're going to have to put the work in. Believe it or not, you're going to have to learn new things. Believe it or not, you're going to have to take risks. Sorry if no one's ever told you that before, but that's how life works. So there you go. But, definitely I think that something is worth the effort, because it's not going to take as long as you think. And this looks like a new project to me, or, something new that you're working on here, Aquarius. And, I think that the secret here with these two cards is going to be consistency. So, like I said, you can't just give something, 24 hours of effort and expect it to work. I think you need to be consistent for the rest of your life and make things happen with the Knight of Pentacles, right? I'm using a brand new deck for you, and it just is not easy to pick up off the table. You have the Fool. The Fool is definitely saying it's time for some sort of leap of faith in a direction. So the Fool is ready to take a risk. And again, he's taking the risk of looking foolish. I feel like I've been saying this to you for months now, Aquarius, where it's like some of you definitely could be doing something like in work or business where people are calling you a fool or saying, oh, that's risky, or, that's dangerous or whatever. And it's like, well, at the same time, one thing I like to remind people is like the robots are about to take over. So it's like really, there is no such thing as risk right now, because it's like, AI one day could just decide to suck all the oxygen out of the earth and we all drop dead. So what is the risk? It's like, it's funny to me that people say like are worried about the robots and things like that, like as in like Terminator robots. I'm like, no, that's not how it's going to happen with AI. AI will so quickly develop billions of little tiny robots that you can't even see with your naked eye. They will infect everyone on Earth, and then all of a sudden we'll all just explode into a pink mist. So it's like, really, you have nothing to worry about, because we could just not wake up one day. We could just all be like, what the hell happened? We're all in heaven all of a sudden, right? So it's like, as far as I'm concerned, we should be taking risks, because it's like, what's the alternative? I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but there you go. You have the Two of Cups. Yeah, definitely a perfect match coming in for you. Could be a little bit of an eccentric person. Sometimes I think with the Star card, even, the Star is you, but sometimes I think with the Star card that it could be like a little bit of a star, but like in a, I don't know what word I'm looking for here is, but, it could be like a little bit of an eccentric person or someone who lives life differently. But usually very successful with the Star, so it could be a successful person. Like I said, the Two of Cups is always like starting with communication. So if you're starting with communication, I would, I think that's a good thing. I mean, we have Mercury retrograde. I always tell people that, every single retrograde, people always tell me like, oh, you shouldn't be telling people to date during retrogrades. And I'm always like, no, I should be. If someone's going to screw up, they're going to screw up quickly during a retrograde. A retrograde isn't going to prevent you from being with someone you're supposed to be with. So, it's like, it's not like the universe is like, oh, this is their soulmate, but I have to ruin this because it's Mercury retrograde, right? That's not how it works. So I always tell people, date during retrogrades. If someone's going to screw up, they're going to screw up right away. If you date them after the retrograde and you wait, it might take 6 months. It may take a year. And then you wasted 6 months or a year. I'd rather waste a month than a year, right? So again, I would suggest dating. And again, you can go slow. Start by talking to the person with the Two of Cups. And as long as you pay attention to what you're saying, and as long as you don't have foot in mouth disease and you don't say something stupid, you'll be fine. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Temperance card and the Star, 2 cards, so take your time, be patient, is what I would say here. Double check things as well. It's kind of funny because I will tell you this here, Aquarius. I'll tell you a funny story. Years ago, I was dating a person, right? And when I started talking to this person, we were texting, and I don't remember exactly what we were texting about, but I'm a terrible texter because I don't double check my text, and sometimes I type things weird. But I told this person that I was going to punch them, right? And luckily, that's not what I meant to say, right? I didn't mean to say like I'm going to punch you. I don't remember what I was going to say, but the whole point of it is you might want to double check your text messages. It's popping into my head here. I don't know, that message. I haven't talked about that ever. But again, it's kind of funny. It's like, you have one of those moments where you tell someone something silly, right? And so I would be like, I feel like the patience thing is saying like double check things here. You don't say something weird, and take your time, especially if this is like a love situation. The Temperance card, I also feel like this is saying you're ready. Again, you've been getting a lot of readings with me, Aquarius, that basically say there never will be a perfect moment for you to do something. You have to get started now. So there you go. With the Fool, you have the Judgment card. Yeah, I really like this reading for you, Aquarius. You're being called to something. I feel you need to pay attention to your intuition, as always, and also your inner calling. Two of Cups is you and your higher self. So it's like your higher self could be, kind of like really trying to communicate with you through your dreams and your daydreams, and I would pay attention to that as well. With the Two of Cups, yes, you have the Empress. There you go. So very attractive at this time, Aquarius. So, whoever you're attracting could be very attracted to you. You're probably very attracted to them as well. The other thing I like to tell people with the Empress is, like, the Empress is ease. It doesn't say that things are going to be easy, but it just says, like, for the most part, if you're dealing with a new person this month, I know this is a weekly reading, but I kind of feel like this is something that you could be dealing with over the next, like, couple of months, really, if you're meeting a new person, like, starting now through, like, August. And that doesn't mean you're going to break up after. I just think, like, maybe it starts as communication, between now and August, right? And but one thing I think that you will notice is that like there's a certain flow to it. It just is kind of like I hesitate to say easy, but I just think that it's like there's no pressure, no drama. It's like maybe this person doesn't get bent out of shape over you not texting them for a day, right? It's like maybe this person is just kind of like, it's like if you're there, great. It's like that's the type of energy I get off of this person, where there's no pressure to be anything. Does that make sense? Probably not. But it's like, sometimes like people pressure you to be in a relationship like right away, right? Like I feel like this person, it's just like, it is what it is type of attitude. I hope that makes sense. So again, you could be attracting a person like that. It's not that they don't care or anything like that. They're just like a no pressure type of person is what I feel. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this adventure card and this compassion card. So another card of adventure, I didn't even see that. I think it would be an amazing time for everyone to really go on adventures. I feel the Empress and the Nine of Pentacles would encourage having more compassion for yourself, like treating yourself as if you loved yourself completely, And I feel like this is something else that I have said to you frequently here, Aquarius. Like, it is hard, I think, for people to love themselves, right? And I really feel like you need to care enough about yourself to treat yourself the best. Better than anything and anyone, right? And the Empress is a card of self-care. The Nine of Pentacles is about putting yourself in a position of heaven on earth. She is creating, or she's hoping to create, heaven on earth in her life. And so I feel that there could be a lot of opportunity for you to create like a lot of just, great energy for yourself. But it's like you have to nurture yourself and care for yourself enough to do it. This is like, I think in your last reading, didn't you have that card that said you are good enough on it? It's like a lot of this stuff comes up. It's like you need to believe that you deserve something, and that's what's popping into my head with that card. And also, the Star card. The Star card is your card, and whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength. So, this is very positive, but I feel like you need to believe in yourself more with this card, or you need to, believe that you deserve something. I think you also need to go all in on something as well, which comes up a lot for you. She's kind of like dipping her toes in the water, but she needs to go all in. She needs to dive into the deep end. Sometimes that's what I feel with her card, is that she's not making the full commitment like she should. And I feel like you need to make the full commitment here. You have the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles can represent stability, and I feel like a lot of you could be creating a lot of stability with the Four of Pentacles. I feel like the Four of Pentacles is normally I don't really like the Four of Pentacles, is what I want to say, but I actually do like the Four of Pentacles in your reading. Again, I read intuitively, but the Four of Pentacles, it's like sometimes, yeah, sure, he could be holding on too tightly to the past or whatever, but in some ways, the Four of Pentacles can be very positive. He can be, basically doing things to create more financial security in his life. And so I kind of do feel that. But at the same time, if you want love or something, like I said, you have all this stuff about taking a risk. So I feel like you're going to have to take some sort of a risk to put yourself out there, or to put yourself in a position to get love. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, Seven of Wands says you need to protect your position. You need to protect your own heaven on earth, right? So I think it would be a really good time to be very particular with your energy and like who you allow to affect your energy as well, right? And, again, I would be very particular about that. Even to the point of being, maybe a little bit crazy about it as well. So it's like if there are people who are affecting your vibe or make you feel miserable, I would avoid it. But even if there's like songs or music you listen to or whatever that also ruins your vibe, I would protect it. Again, the Nine of Pentacles is really about creating heaven on earth, but we have to kind of create that environment. With the Star, you have the Chariot. Yeah, I feel like you're charging. I literally said something would be happening quickly right here. It's like, because you can't go from the Nine of Pentacles, like, boom, to the Nine of Pentacles all of a sudden. That's like a very much an all of a sudden success type of reading, But the funny thing is that the Chariot is about building momentum. So like I said, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. It might not even happen this month, if you're starting something new. It just looks like there's a ton of potential in something that you're doing. And you're going to have to be consistent, is what I would say with the energy. So it's like if you're starting a project, you're going to have to work on it every single day and get it to a point, right? If you're starting a YouTube channel, you're going to have to post to that channel consistently over time. But again, I think what's happening here is that it's going to reach a point where there's just like critical mass, And so I would put the work in. Definitely victory. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is a passionate new beginning. Definitely could be a very passionate connection for those of you looking for love. Ace of Wands is out with the old and with the new. So definitely could be a very solid new connection coming in for you with the Ace of Wands. So I like to see that. The Ace of Wands is also very creative. I am getting something about creativity here, which normally I don't really say on this card, but I do think, tapping into your creative energies would be a good idea with that card. Next, in the area of messages, this is the good stuff. You have this orbiting space card. It says something or someone is orbiting you, wanting to make its presence known. There you go, clearly. Again, I don't know though. This person looks very bold to me, so it's like I'm wondering if you're the person that's orbiting. I don't know. You tell me. But you have that King of Wands. King of Wands usually is like not afraid to make a move. So, again, it would surprise me if this person was orbiting you. It's like you might be interested, but maybe you need to flirt more or something. I'm also getting like something about a difference in communication style. So it's like if you have communicated with this person, it's like, yeah, maybe you have, but maybe not in the right way. You have this Lighthouse card. It says, you're a light that can't be hidden, so don't ever try to dim it for anyone. Star, twice. The star says, you are shining bright here, Aquarius. There is a lot of attention coming in for you. So this looks amazing. Love it. You have the Eight of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. Eight of Pentacles is like straightforward, diligent work. You could be getting, really putting in the work here. And again, I like the Eight of Pentacles because it's like if you put work into something, you're going to get a result in the future. Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon. It literally says that whatever you're working on or whatever you're creating is going to lead to a result in the future. So there could be a big result coming in for you. I definitely feel that for sure. You have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles as teamwork makes the dream work. Again, I'm a big fan of Aquarius working on a team this year's, over the next 19 years because of Pluto in your sign. Anything you can do to work with other people would be a really good idea. The other thing is that you don't even have to work with other people if you are inspiring other people, right? You can be doing things on your own, but if you are doing things that are inspiring others to live a better life, then, that's pretty much the same thing. So, I think that any of that would be very good, spiritual work for you to be doing. You have the Queen of Wands. Like everybody else, we are in a time where I think we all have to learn as we go. We're probably not going to know the answers. We're probably not going to know exactly how to do the things that we want to do. But that's not a bad thing. We just have to learn, grow, experience, all those other things. She's my card of being willing to learn as you go. And I think as long as you're willing to learn as you go, you will be fine with the Queen of Wands. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Hermit. Definitely it's your time to shine. Star, right? The Hermit says you have to come out of Hermit mode. Now, it is showing up in the good stuff, so you probably are coming out of Hermit mode. I also feel like some of you are coming out of a very difficult period of time. The Hermit's standing at the top of the mountain, and he's shining his inner light. But he has kind of been through some difficulties and challenges, and now he's coming out on top. So that's kind of the feeling I get for you. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yes, I feel like you are coming out of the cold, coming up in the good stuff. So again, the Five of Pentacles would say that you are coming out of the cold in the good stuff. Also, amazing reading for improving your finances. So again, I kind of feel like you are discovering an answer. Is money going to be amazing for you this week? Maybe not. But, is it going to be fine? Yes, it's going to be fine. But I think you want exceptional results in your finances, and it's like you're getting there, is what this reading is saying. But you could be discovering an answer that kind of leads to long-term success. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, definitely time to follow your heart. I feel like I've said this to you a million times, Aquarius. It's almost like your heart is telling you to do one thing, your head is telling you to do something else. I think you need to move towards your heart, clearly, because you always get these cards like Queen of Cups and, stuff like that, right? So, that's basically what I would be doing with that energy for sure. You have this Vulture card. It says depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. Yeah, I think you need to get out of your head for sure. And plus, we have Mercury going retrograde in Leo. We had Mars retrograde in Leo. The problem with Mars retrograde in Leo is that it's like we can worry about people working against us or doing things behind our back, but it might not be true. It might just be that. But where I'm going with that is Mercury is retrograding in Leo, so we might feel very similar energy. You have this ring card. It says marriage will take place either in romance or business. So there you go. Definitely could be a solid love connection. You have this money path card. It says a path with money is waiting for you to find it. Clearly, Knight of Pentacles, Chariot, Nine of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. Very good. I really feel this is an answer. Again, I'm not saying it's going to take off overnight, but what I am saying is something is going to take off quicker than you are expecting. So, get to work because it's going to be worth it. You have this February card in this tankard. It says celebration, fun, and enjoyment. Yeah, between now and February, which makes a lot of sense because, in January and February, right now, what's going to happen this year is Neptune and Saturn are both going to retrograde out of Aries. And then in January and February, both of those planets are going to move back into Aries. So between now and February, I think it would be a great time to enjoy yourself before the rubber meets the road. Again, I think with Neptune and Saturn in Aries, everybody's going to be a lot more busy next year. So, I would be having fun now. You have this bow card. It says you are highly thought of. A lot of good attention cards as usual for you, Aquarius. Empress, Nine of Pentacles, Star twice. Very good for getting attention and standing out. But this looks really good, Aquarius. I like it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.